A fierce and deeply polarized debate unfolded in South Africa's parliament this week as the ruling party and opposition clashed over the 2025 fiscal framework and revenue strategy proposed by Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana. What was expected to be a routine budget debate quickly turned into a battleground reflecting the country's broader economic, social, and political tensions. The revenue strategy, unveiled alongside the broader 2025 budget proposals, aims to balance the need for fiscal discipline with the government's commitment to social programs and infrastructure investment. However, it includes several contentious elements: increased VAT, higher personal income tax rates for high earners, and elevated fuel levies. While the government argues these measures are necessary to stabilize South Africa's finances and avoid a credit downgrade, opposition parties and some ANC dissenters warn that the strategy will deepen inequality and stifle economic growth. The debate began with Finance Minister Godongwana defending the revenue plan, emphasizing that it was the product of extensive consultation and a sober assessment of the country's economic realities. "We face a difficult choice: either implement responsible fiscal measures now or pass on an even greater burden to future generations. The proposed revenue adjustments are carefully calibrated to protect vulnerable South Africans while securing our fiscal health," Godongwana told the National Assembly. Despite this measured tone, the response from opposition benches was immediate and vociferous. EFF leader Julius Malema condemned the budget as a betrayal of the people, accusing the ANC government of prioritizing creditors and corporations over the poor. "You tax the poor to pay the debt of the rich. This budget is an insult to the millions struggling to survive," Malema said, calling for radical economic transformation and a complete rethink of South Africa's fiscal policy. The DA, represented by Shadow Finance Minister Deon George, criticized the budget as lacking bold reform. George accused the government of punting the hard questions and relying on tax increases instead of tackling corruption, wasteful spending, and inefficient state-owned enterprises. "This budget is a short-term fix that ignores the structural problems crippling our economy. We need accountability, efficiency, and growth, not more taxes that punish hard-working South Africans," George asserted. Adding complexity to the debate were voices from within the ANC itself. Some MPs expressed unease with the revenue strategy, privately worrying about its political fallout ahead of the 2026 general elections. These members argued that the government risks alienating its core support base, particularly low- and middle-income voters who face rising living costs. Despite this, ANC chairperson Gwede Mantashe publicly backed Godongwana, emphasizing the need for unity and fiscal responsibility. "We must face the facts. Our economy is fragile, and the debt burden is unsustainable. The revenue measures are painful but necessary for the long-term stability of our country," Mantashe stated. As the debate raged on, several civil society organizations and labor unions issued statements condemning the budget for failing to sufficiently protect workers and vulnerable communities. The Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, criticized the VAT increase as regressive and harmful to poor households. "This is a government that speaks of transformation but delivers austerity. We call on Parliament to reject these measures and demand a budget that truly serves the people," COSATU said in a statement. The media coverage mirrored the intensity inside Parliament, with opinion pieces and social media conversations sharply divided. Analysts warn that this fiscal showdown is emblematic of the broader crisis facing South Africa's economy, a struggle to balance competing priorities amid political pressures and external economic challenges. Political economist Dr. Naledi Chabalala commented, "The 2025 revenue strategy exposes fault lines within South Africa's political landscape. It's not just about taxes, it's about vision, trust, and who bears the burden of economic recovery." As the parliamentary vote on the budget approaches, the government appears determined to push through the proposed revenue measures, viewing them as critical to avoiding a fiscal crisis. However, The vocal opposition and internal dissent suggest that the battle over South Africa's economic future is far from settled. In the weeks ahead, all eyes will be on Parliament as the country grapples with these difficult choices. Whether the government can maintain unity and convince South Africans of the necessity of these measures remains an open question, and a defining challenge as the nation heads toward the 2026 elections.